The matter against rapist and murderer Bester and his co-accused Dr. Magudumana and her father Zolile Sekeleni has been postponed in the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court until the 20th of June. Bester, known as the Facebook rapist, appeared via audio-visual remand, while his lover, Dr. Magudumana, appeared via Zoom. 5 former G4S employees accused of aiding and abetting Bester in a dramatic prison escape also appeared. The accused face multiple charges, including fraud and corruption, violating a corpse, harbouring and concealing an escaped offender, as well as defeating the ends of justice. SABC News senior reporter Chriselda Lewis was there. Chriselda, good afternoon. A lot of disappointed people who wanted to see how this couple would interact in the dock, but they had their hopes dashed. What led to them appearing virtually?
Well, that's right, Iman. We'd known, recall, since Friday that the state would apply for Bester to appear in court virtually, and by yesterday it had been confirmed that it would be so. But what came by surprise is that SABC News learned very early this morning that Dr. Magudumana will also be appearing virtually. This was altogether new for us, as we expected her to be in the dock with her father, Cornelius Zolile Sekeleni. Her lawyer said it was her right to do so. Then she appeared via Zoom, Iman, but that has also generated a lot of public scrutiny. The backdrop, as you would have seen, of her Zoom appearance at court is stacked with books. I've confirmed with correctional services. They say it's a library at the Kroonstad Correctional Services Centre, and they say it's the only area with sufficient space where correctional services officials could also monitor Dr. Magudumana while she was appearing in court via Zoom. So, as you correctly indicated there, both her and Bester, as well as her father, Zolile Sekeleni, will be back in court on June the 20th. Now, Bester's lawyers, new ones that were placed on the record here today, say they're not happy with Bester's virtual appearance. They never agreed to it because they would sometimes want to consult with their client, and they were totally against the fact that he had to appear virtually before this court.
So let's move on to some of the other aspects of this appearance today. A fair bit of cross-examination of a state witness today. What did the court hear?
Well, Imana, you'd know that the evidence-in-chief of the investigating officer had basically placed accused number 1, Sinohe Matswara, at the center of the escape plot, by allegedly transporting the corpse inside the Mangaung prison, which was then used as a decoy for Bester's escape. But quite notably, Iman, Sinohe Matswara's lawyer, Kagisho Maruri, did not even touch on that in his cross-examination of the investigating officer, which is a crucial aspect in this matter, which I indicated places his client at the center of aiding and abetting the escape of Bester from prison. Instead, you'd recall, the investigating officer told the court in his evidence-in-chief that Matswara had also, left South Africa 8 times and returned had left South Africa 8 times to Lesotho and returned to the country, which would mean 16 times, and had basically returned to Lesotho 8 times. So that will be 16 between October and November 2022. After the escape, perhaps to indicate the frequency of his travels to Lesotho. But his lawyer says, in fact, he only traveled to Lesotho 4 times, because if you leave South Africa and go to Lesotho, you would get 2 stamps on your passport when leaving South Africa and 2 stamps when you get back to the country. Of course, he was then traveling from Lesotho back to South Africa. The investigating officer in that aspect forced to concede that he could have been wrong, and that, instead of alluding to the fact that he had traveled 16 times, it was in fact 4 times, because the passport had been stamped twice on exit and back on entry again. The lawyer also, in cross-examination, also spoke about the transactions which you would recall the investigating officer said were transactions made by a certain TK Nkwana to his client Matswara, which he says, in cross-examination, this could be initials of anyone. It could also be the nickname of someone, basically trying to say that there is no evidence that could suggest, or it could be anyone who could have put that money into the account of Matware. Also remember, Matware was initially facing a murder charge, which the National Prosecuting Authority has since dropped. Matware's lawyer also suggesting in this cross-examination, that the state could have possibly hastily preferred the charge against his client and without basis, and as I already indicated, so could have done so hastily because the National Prosecuting Authority has been on record to indicate that that murder charge has since been dropped against his client.
Chriselda, thank you very much for that comprehensive wrap. We've still got many days, months and probably years ahead of us to understand exactly what went on here. SABC News senior reporter Chriselda Lewis.